Don't go out into the water too far. Don't throw sand. Don't bring home any smelly starfish. Don't wander off and don't fight. And have a real good time.
Ow!
Don't get smart. Let's go.
Have fun.
See you later.
Okay, bye-bye. Good morning, Captain. Why, we're in a good mood today.
And a good morning to you, madam. How did you know my mood?
Captain, what would you say if I told you I could predict your various moods precisely?
I don't think I care for that at all. Precisely.
Within inches.
I never knew that women's intuition could be so accurate.
Oh, it's not my intuition. It's your barometer. I've noticed that when it shows fair, you're likely to be, tolerable. But when that needle drops to stormy...
After all these years, I never thought you'd turn on me.
Oh, hi there. I hope we're not disturbing you. I'm Buzzy Fenwick. This is my wife, Benny.
Hi. Hello.
We're antique collectors.
Well, I couldn't sell anything. I'm just a tenant.
Oh, we've been stopping here every summer for years, and this is the first time anybody ever answered the door. Couldn't we just look?
Well, I don't think anyone could object to you looking for just a minute.
Well, thank you so much. Benny, isn't this exciting? It's like one big antique shop. I could go crazy here. Crazy. Benny, a barometer with gut hygrometer.
Just what I've always wanted.
I was just wondering, who do you rent this place from?
Whom?
Sorry, dear. Whom owns this? Who owns this house?
Claymore Gregg in Schooner Bay.
Claymore Gregg. According to this, we're about to have a storm. Benny? Thank you very much, Mrs. Muir. You've been very kind.
Not at all.
I've got a feeling we don't make it to Boston for dinner.
Benny, it's a genuine James Gatley made in London in 1770. There's only one other like it, and it's in the British Museum. That barometer in there is priceless. Not only that, it works!
Now you've done it. You've sent him to the scurvy swab who'd be delighted to sell my barometer.
Captain.
He hasn't got the slightest right, title, or interest in Gull Cottage.
Captain.
Any of its content.
Now hear this. I am tired of being put in the middle of your squabbles with Claymore Gregg, and I will thank you to keep me out of it.
Keep you out of it? Who invited that scavenger in here in the first place? You haven't heard the end of this.
Goodness, such a sudden change in the weather.
It's what, a real nor'easter, Mom? I got my bathing suit all wet.
Well, let's get upstairs for a nice hot bath and some dry clothes. Gracious me. What a temper.
Have a nice swim.
inside the house. Gull Cottage.
Well, the house out on Bay Road.
Oh, that's it. Yes, that's Gull Cottage. A barometer, you say. I bet you'd be willing to pay
$100 cash.
No, nothing would make me sell.
200.
I'll be back in 15 minutes. It's no use, Mr. Fenwick. Take your money back. I couldn't sell anything in Gull Cottage.
Okay. Never kid a kidder, huh?
What?
You know you've got a genuine James Gatley barometer there.
I do?
Yes, you do. And you know you do. And you know I know you do. And you know I'll pay as high as $2,000 to get it, Benny.
$2,000?
How about that? He really didn't know.
He does now.
Hello? Well, I'll see if she's available.
Who is it, Martha?
Claymore Greg.
Yes, Claymore. We're all very well, thank you. And you?
Oh, Jim Dandy, Mrs. Muir. Mrs. Muir, I was wondering if, well, if you were coming into the village this afternoon.
Yes, I am.
Oh, good. Do you know the barometer that's hanging on the wall near the staircase?
Yes, I'm looking at it right now.
Well, I was wondering if you would mind dropping it off at my office.
No, Claymore, I'd rather not.
Well, it's just a small favor, Mrs. Muir. I mean, you're coming into town anyway.
Claymore, that's between you and, you know who. I'm stepping out of the middle from now on, so if you want your barometer, you'll have to come get it yourself.
But, Mrs. Muir, well, thanks anyway. Oh, dear.
Over against the wall, Claymore.
All right. I'll go $25 then.
Looks wormy enough now.
$30 then.
James Gatley wheel barometer with gut hygrometer. I don't know.
Well, now, you said, Deke, that you could make a good, cheap copy of this barometer by tonight. Now, come on, you know you did.
Said good. Didn't say cheap.
$40 says you can do it.
50 says tonight.
All right, $50 then.
60 says for sure.
By George. Isn't that Calvin Bedford over there in his workshop?
50 by tonight.
Coffee? I'm heating it up.
Thanks, Martha. Sounds good.
Would you like a piece of cake with your coffee?
No thanks.
It's awful good.
A little too good, thank you.
Why is everything good fattening? But you can certainly afford the calories. Mrs. Muir, I decided to bring you just a small piece anyway.
This dog should be in bed. Get off! Leave me alone. Stop it. You get off. Get down. Get down. This dog should be in bed. Get off. Who is it? Who's there?
Open in the law.
Evening, Claymore.
That's him. That's him.
The swindler?
Who, me, a swindler?
Aye, they claim you sold them a fake antique.
Oh, Norrie, I did no such thing.
Oh, no?
They claim you did. They say they want the money back.
Well, all sales are final.
Law will hold the money.
And what about arresting him?
Well, now, hold your horses, ma'am.
Wait a minute. Are you going to arrest him or not?
Well, I can't say. I need a ruling first.
Oh, this man swindled us. What more ruling do you need?
Ruling from the Justice of the Peace.
Well, what are we waiting for? Get it.
Getting it? I'd like a ruling, Claymore. Is it legal, Your Honor, to arrest the Justice of the Peace?
He's the Justice of the Peace.
I knew we shouldn't have gone to this Keystone Cop.
Keystone Cop. You hear that one, Claymore? They come to Keystone Cop.
What is so funny?
This is Schooner Bay. It's 20 miles to Keystone.
Come on, let's get the sheriff.
What are you going for the sheriff?
Well, you don't think we're going to let him get away with this, do you?
Well, then.
Oh, no, Norrie, you're not going to arrest me.
If I don't, Claymore, sheriff will, and we need the business. Now, the hearing will be tomorrow morning in my restaurant. You've got a right to have a lawyer, to make one telephone call, and your choice of grapefruit, melon, or juice with your breakfast.
I've been framed. Grapefruit.
Miss Muir.
Good evening, Mr. Coolidge.
Evening. Here's Jeff Claymore.
Oh, Mrs. Muir.
This is the Schooner Bay Jail?
And juvenile hall.
Looks more like your storeroom.
It's that, too. 5 minutes, Claymore.
Thank you for coming.
Claymore, what happened? The whole township is talking about you.
Oh, I'm sure they are, Mrs. Muir. Schooner Bay's Justice of the Peace in jail. How do you think I feel in here behind bars? Smell of onions is awful.
Tell me what happened.
Well, I couldn't resist the Fenwicks offer for the barometer, so I had a copy made. And I sneaked into Gull Cottage and, well, I exchanged it for the real James Gatley. And somewhere along the line, I got the two mixed up.
You were in my house and none of us knew you were there?
Well, I didn't want anyone to see what I was doing, Mrs. Muir.
Well, apparently somebody did.
What am I going to do? I'll get 10 years for this. Why, I've only been in jail an hour, and already I'm like stir crazy. You gotta help me, Mrs. Muir. Jail isn't for me. I hate onions.
Maybe I can cultivate a spirit of forgiveness.
Time's up, Miss Muir.
So soon?
Of course, you were to order the shore dinner. I might set the table up
No,
right.
thanks. Goodbye, Claymore. And don't worry.
Thank you, Mrs. Muir. What chowder? Last time I eat here.
My, we're positively bursting with joy tonight. Well, Captain, if you can contain yourself, I'd like to have a word with you. Captain, I would just like to have a...
Something the matter?
No, Martha, I was just struggling with a story, and I wanted to hear how it sounded.
Like you're losing the struggle.
Blast.
Good morning, madam. Fantastic morning, wouldn't you say?
Where were you last night?
I was here. I'm always here.
Well, that was a shameful trick that you played on poor Claymore.
Poor Claymore. It's high time I scraped off that barnacle.
You'd let him go to jail for something he didn't do?
One Claymore Gregg boarded my vessel without permission and attempted an act of piracy.
Your vessel? You seem to forget, Captain, that this house and everything in it belongs to Claymore Gregg.
Not while I am aboard.
Well, you're not aboard. You've been dead for over 100 years.
Dead, but not departed. As long as I stand on this quarterdeck, she is my ship.
Captain, you've put Claymore in a terrible mess.
He put himself into it. I only nudged him along.
Well, then nudge him out of it.
Madam, what is it you would have me do? Appear in court? Besides, only yesterday you asked not to be put in the middle.
But he could get 10 years.
Yes. Think how long that would keep you out of the middle.
Thank you. Come again. All right. All right. All right. Get this hearing down to business. It's got to be over and done before the lunch rush. The hearing for the arraignment of Claymore Gregg on the charge of faking antiques is now open. Purpose of all this being to see if we've got enough evidence to hold the guilty party for the trial. So, where's the victim? Oh, Mr. Fenwick, you want to tell us what happened?
Well,
He first saw the thing at her house.
the minute
She's probably in on the swindle.
Can I tell it?
Why not? You did it.
The minute I saw it, I knew I'd spotted a real buy.
And you say this barometer is not the one you saw out to Gull Cottage?
I should have suspected when he delivered it in the dark. He kept looking around like he was afraid somebody might see us.
What made you suspect this might not be the real antique?
That gut hygrometer. In 1770, they didn't use plastic.
Mr. Coolidge?
Ma'am, could I bother you for the sugar?
Certainly. The plastic could have been a recent restoration.
That's right.
Thank you.
Don't mention it.
I suppose to have an expert here from Bangor to look the exhibit over. Expert from Bangor?
Tourist from Cleveland. I'd like to make a check.
Thank you. Pay your check?
Expert from Bangor. Julie Fickett.
Oh, Mr. Fickett. The hearing would like your opinion on that barometer there.
Oh, I'm going to jail. Who's going to feed my bird?
You say this is a copy?
I certainly do, and a terrible one.
Could have fooled me.
Huh?
The real James Gatley.
Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure?
How could it be?
The real James Gatley. I told you I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, this is all so embarrassing. The real James Gatley.
Thank you, Captain.
You are evidently under the delusion, madam, that I have done something worthy of your gratitude.
Somebody else saved Claymore?
I'd as soon confine that blasted ninny to the brig for the rest of his days.
But your conscience wouldn't let you.
Conscience be blowed, woman. Pure self-defense. If I hadn't saved his scurvy hide, the female whining round here would have driven me stark, staring mad.
I was only returning the barometer.
How in the world did you get it?
Well, I gave Mr. Fenwick back his money.
And he was willing to return the barometer?
I had him for false arrest if he didn't.
Very clever of you.
And as a consolation, I let him have the imitation. At cost, $100.
You let him have the imitation, did you? Blockhead. Don't you recognize the imitation when you see it?
What? Oh, no. Oh, this isn't fair. They'll be leaving town. Oh.
It's amazing how much it looks like the real James Gatley.
It is the real James Gatley. I wouldn't have anything else hanging on that bulkhead.
But...